What's up guys, YSC here and welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video. And today we've got a really cool clan boss composition using Helicath and Ninja to exceed 140 million damage on the Ultra Nightmare clan boss. Now this team here today is pretty endgame, but if you do want to see a budget variation of a Helicath team, it'll be in the pinned comment and in the description, where I showed one where it's really slow speeds and Helicath is just tanking the stun, so you don't need two block damage champions. So if that's more of your cup of tea, make sure you guys go check that one out. And if you want to see this crazy 140 million team, stay tuned and I'm going to break everything down. Now, I just want to say a big shout out to my boy Sneckers, who's a part of my clan and a good friend of mine. And he allowed me to jump onto his account today to showcase this whopper of a team. And it was really cool to see it in action because, as you guys know, I'm not like the big advocate for unkillable teams, but I also know that it's the most easiest way to optimize a really solid one key, and it's important that I showcase different variations on these kinds of teams. So let's break down the stats, the masteries, and how this thing works. We'll get into the clan boss run and talk about presets, and it is full auto, which is what makes this remarkable. So let's start off with Helicath. Now, as I said, this is going to be extremely fast speeds in today's video. And basically what he's down to is an A1 with a weaken to kind of coincide with the drop defense from our other champions. And as you see here, not even fully booked, because with its passive, it increases this champion's defense by 5% for each ally under block damage, but counterattacks with the default skill whenever an ally is hit while under a block damage buff. Now, of course, this is the block damage composition, which allows him to always come through with that counterattack, placing that weaken, even though we haven't got the extra buffs here, but it places really consistently because it is a 2-to-1 composition, right? And this kind of makes him one of the best damage dealers for block damage because of this counterattack built into his kit, which is really nice. Now, on the Winds of Pit, also not fully booked, attacks all enemies and places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. The value of this shield is proportionate to this champion's defense. Now, this team today does work with a 3-turn cooldown, but it works a little bit better without it, which is kind of a good thing. Maybe save yourself some books. But if you've already fully booked your Helicath, don't worry about it. Just make sure that you put into the calculator on Deadwood Jedi the right cooldowns that's on your Helicath, and just make sure that everything is lining up correctly, but it will work completely fine. Now, on Devoted Servants, places a block damage buff on all allies for 2 turns, and whenever a block damage buff placed on an ally by this champion is removed, stolen, or expires, replaces that 60% increased defense buff on the ally for 2 turns. It is on a 4-turn cooldown, and it works out really nice in this composition. We are going to be using the increased ally defense in all battles by 30% on our aura today. Now, the overall stats on our champion is, let's just head over here. We've got 39,000 HP, 4.8k defense, 247 speed, 86% crit rate, because we will have Fahrakin the Fat to increase that crit rate. Really high crit damage here. No, you don't need it this high to get a really solid 1 key. And resist 108 and accuracy at 250. The masteries, we have gone for the offense tree, heading down to the War Master, of course. Let me just move myself back here. And we've got the Stoke to Fury, increases the damage inflicted by 4% for each debuff on this champion. Trying to kind of coincide with that poison debuff because we have no cleanses. And then we've gone the Steadfast Mastery. This is really important here to determine our stun targets. By having this on our champion, it allows the stun to go onto our Fahrakin the Fat in this team. And that was allowing us to come through and deal the most damage as possible. Alright. We've got Laura Steel and we've got the Sniper at the bottom. Alright, so that is Helicath. And let's head into Roshguard the Tower, who is replaceable by anybody who has a block damage on a 4-turn cooldown. So our unbooked Demiffer can work really nice here. Another Roshguard, Helicath, you can have 2 of those as well if you're lucky enough to have a dupe of him. And actually, I think having a second Helicath might actually be better because you're getting that extra counterattack in and he can smack like a truck over those turns. Also, maybe even a Santa or something like that. So a good few options out there to replace Roshguard the Tower. Pretty much all he's here for is that block damage buff on that 4-turn cooldown. We've got an A1 which smacks pretty nicely and a block buffs on his A2 ability. Overall stats here, we have gone for 50,000 HP, 3,100 attack, 1.9k defense, 277 speed. And this is our fast and killable, alright? It's really important that he is faster than our second one in Helicath, who is at a 247. And what else is there? Let's just go back in here. So 277 speed, 70% crit rate, of course, because of that crit rate buff, 207% crit damage, and we don't need accuracy or resistance. Masteries, we have gone for the offense tree, heading down to the War Master. I'm not going to keep moving myself out the way, guys, but okay, I'll move myself out the way one more time. But when I say War Master, it's pretty much the same kind of thing down there. And the defense tree, trying to get those counterattacks in to optimize our damage. Actually, let's go into our Fahrakin the Fat next. Now, this is our fast DPS. Yep, so fast DPS here. And he is going at 33,000 HP, 3.9k attack, 2,000 defense, 248 speed, 100% crit rate, 150% crit damage, and 237 accuracy. Now, this champion can afford to be in that relentless set. It tunes correctly fine, and it allows him to come through and get more ally attacks out, keeping that crit rate and crit damage up more consistently, and also getting those poisons and burns out more efficiently as well with those extra turns. Now, he is going to be our stun target today because we've got that steadfast on our Helicath. And the masteries, offense tree heading down to War Master, and the support tree trying to extend with lasting gifts to keep that crit rate up more efficiently, and the master hexer to try and extend that drop defense, burns, and poisons. So that is our Fahrakin the Fat. The big old belly button returns, and let's head into Seeker. Now, Seeker's a really cool champion, one that I haven't actually built properly on my account yet, and pretty much let's just go over the speeds quickly. So we've got 31,000 HP, 4,000 attack, 2,400 defense, 254 speed, 76% crit rate, 257% crit damage, and once again, these are just whatever comes on to our champion. I'm just optimizing speed with the gear here, crit damage and attack percent and stuff. And the skills, pretty much what it comes down to is the extra turn on Tailwind, which fills this turn meter by all allies by 30%, places a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns, and grants that extra turn, enabling our 2-to-1 ratio in this composition today. Now, he's really solid. Like, he actually deals a good chunk of damage as well. Masteries, offense tree heading down to War Master, and defense tree trying to get those counterattacks. Now, the final champion in today's video is going to be Ninja, and he enables those crazy damages on our champions. And what it's down to is the drop defense on the A1, which smacks really hard, by the way. The burn detonation on the A2, this is also amazing, but I'm going to talk about the perfect veil stuff once we get into the run. And Science Slash to make sure that we can reduce the cooldown of our hail burn and deal as much damage as possible. Overall stats on our ninja is 30,000 HP, 5.8k attack, 218 speed, so the slowest of the bunch, 70% crit rate, almost 300% crit damage, and 264 accuracy. Masteries heading down to the War Master, and the support tree heading down to the Master Hexer and the Sniper. So that is the skills, the masteries, and everything you need to know on this champions. And guys, in the description below, I'm going to let you guys know towards the end of the video as well, we have got a detailed, in-depth description of how this team works, and if your Helicath is booked, and other champions you might want to bring in, and how to counter the affinities. So if you want to kind of know that stuff, we've written it out for you, so it's more clear and in-depth to just quickly check back if you need to. So let's just go into the run now. Now we're going to quickly talk about presets, because obviously that is really important and you guys want to be doing full auto teams. And what makes this one remarkable is this speed tune works for Nightmare, it works for Brutal, and it works for Ultra Nightmare with the same speed tuning. And I think that's insane, being able to get your free keys out efficiently every day and optimize your rewards. So we're going to open up here with the A1 on Helicath, and then we want to first priority the Devoted Servants to make sure we get that block damage out. Now, as I said before, if you have booked this out, it's not a problem. Just make sure that you put the cooldown into the Deadwood Jedi calculator and make sure that everything is lining up correctly. But it's definitely possible. There's no problems if it's fully booked. Fahrakin the Fat is on a first priority on the Beatdown, and then a second priority on the Brand of Shame. Ninja, we want to be first priority on Hailburn and Science Slash on the A2. first priority on zone protection, and we're blocking off the A2 with our Roshguard the tower here. Seeker, we have then got a opener with Devour, and the rest is completely fine to leave it how it is. So let's just bring up the run and break this down. Get this on a full screen. And as you see, Helicath in lead position, followed by Fahrakin, Ninja, Roshguard, and Seeker. Steadfast Mastery is allowing us to get that stun target on Fahrakin, and I'll talk about how it works on the other affinities as well. So as you see here, we're just going to open up with that block damage. This is all on the presets we just discussed. Crit rate and crit damage buffs. And watch the damage from Ninja as well. It's insane, guys. Once he starts ramping up with that A3 and A1, you see like 300 and something thousand damage once all the buffs are lined up. We're coming up here with the burns. There we go, 142,000 damage. Alright, coming through here, there's those counterattacks from our Helicath, allowing us to keep that weaken up, even though that's not fully booked. And I think that's pretty cool. A whopping 75k each on the ninjas. If he was a +4, if any of you guys are lucky for that, this team will be pushing some crazy numbers. And as you see there, the stun target is going perfectly well onto that Fahrakin the Fat because of those masteries. Now, I'm going to quickly talk about affinities and how to counter them. Now, when it comes down to force, of course, there's a few magic champions here you don't want to get stunned. And that is our Seeker and our Roshguard the Tower. So what you need to do against force is disable Ninja's A2 ability where he applies the perfect veil. Yes, you're not going to be optimizing damage, but it will still be a pretty reasonable 1-key as long as you got some good stats on your champions. And you want to make sure that that stun goes onto the Ninja and not those two. In terms of spirit, it will be completely fine. The stun target will still go into Fahrakin the Fat, but you have to factor in the decreased speed, which is where you may need to bring in someone like a Doom Priest to cleanse off that decreased speed, or a cleanser champion like a bad Hellkitty or anything like that, just for that decreased speed debuff. The stun target is still not going to be an issue. It will go onto Fahrakin. So, and in terms of magic, not going to be a problem because it's still going to go onto Fahrakin the Fat because of those masteries. So I hope that makes sense. I'll leave it all in the description below for you guys to have a read through. It's in depth as well, so it's really easy to just look back on. And I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of the run, see where we take it. And yeah, enjoy the run, guys. It's a whopper of a team. So we're just coming through here now at turn count 49 at 140 million damage in 50 turns. It is insane, guys. So look at that, 336,000 damage from Ninja. Insane. Coming through with the extra attacks here. There we go. Block damage going out, and we're about to get nuked, and kaboom. Now, this is insane. Let me just move myself a little bit. So we've got 24 million on our Helicath, 66 million on Ninja, 15 million on Fahrakin the Fat, Roshguard at 13 million, and Seeker at 21 million. This is insane. Now, the personal record with this same stats is 148 million. So we didn't get that close or that far away from his best damage. But yeah, if you guys can't attain these speeds, of course, it's not an easy team to build. But I like to bring a big range of kind of comps to the channel. I have got another Helicath team, which is really easy to build. So make sure you check it out. And a big shout out to Sneckers once again, who allowed me to use his account to showcase this team today. So if you did enjoy the video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Really does help out the channel. And let me know in the comment section if you're going to be going for this team, or if you run similar ones with Helicath. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.